Today I want to talk to you about the two attacks of the four attacks that are mentioned of the shaitan. He says that I will absolutely, after he sits on the straight path that we talked about last time, that I swear to it that I will absolutely come at them and attack them from right in front of them, min bayni aydihim. And then he says, وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ, and from behind them. So those are the two attacks I want to talk to you about this week. And next week, inshallah, I'll talk to you about how he attacks from the right and how he attacks from the left. But today, the front and from behind. So let's talk about what's ahead. The Arabic words, min bayni aydihim, right in front of their hands. That's literally the translation. We translate that in English often as in front of them. But actually, it means a lot more than that. In the Arabic language, of course, if you extend your hands out like this, what's immediately between your hands is what's immediately in front of you. It's right in front of you. It's not something far away. It's right there and it's hitting you right in the, you have to go around it. You know, it's unavoidable. And so he says, basically, let me put it in common vernacular, I'm just going to get right in their face. I'm going to be right there in front of them, and I'll attack them head on. Now, how do these attacks work? You see, shaitan is invisible. We don't see him, and we don't hear his voice. We don't know what he looks like. We don't know any of these things. So how does he attack us from the front? The idea of, if you study the phrasing, what is in front of them in the Quran, you learn something. You learn that it's talking about things that you see every day. When you open your eyes, what is right in front of you is the world around you. Your family, friends, the world as you see it, things that attract you, things that you don't find attractive. This is the world in front of you. And human beings have this tendency to be impulsive. Allah says in Surah Al-Qiyamah, بَلْ يُرِيدُ الْإِنسَانُ لِيَفْجُرَ أَمَامَهُ, that human beings want to just explode, jump right into things that are in front of them. When I was studying marketing so long ago, we used to study consumer behavior. And you know what they do in grocery stores is they put eggs and milk all the way in the back of the grocery store. The reason they do that is they want you to go through a number of aisles, because you only came in for milk and eggs. Most customers come in just for milk and eggs. So you logically it would be right in the front, but they want it all the way in the back because they want you to be impulsive and see them Swiss rolls or chocolate cake or this or that and keep piling it in because you see something in front of you and you just throw it right in. That's a human impulse. Allah put that inside human beings. Shaitan wants to capitalize on that. There are things that come right in front of you and he says, come on, just enjoy yourself a little. It's not that bad. It's not so bad. He doesn't want you to think about the future consequences of something. He wants you to think about what's immediately in front of you right now. You know, it's so much more understandable now because we live in a digital age. Whatever you want to look at, whatever you want to see, whatever you want to hear, whatever you want to order is right at the tip of your fingers. It's immediately accessible. It's not even so far. Physically, if you want to go somewhere, you just hop in your car and go somewhere. You can make a decision to follow whatever impulse, whatever desire, whatever thought comes in your head, and you just immediately run after it, and you don't think about the consequences. You know, a lot of people that engage in sin, if you ask them, why do you want to engage in sin? They don't say that I want to be a sinful person, I just don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. And if you try to make them think about the consequences of this behavior, then don't talk to me about that, you know? I've often spoken to you about doctors that I know that work in the emergency room and the kinds of things they see on Friday night. People just want to get away from their troubles, knock down a couple of drinks, and then the kinds of horrendous things you see in the emergency room, so much of it related to alcohol, so much of it related to overconsumption. Why? Because those people don't want to think that alcohol has destroyed so many lives before you and me, but I don't want to think that that's going to happen to me. I just want to have fun right now. I just want to get the buzz right now. That's all I care about right now. The consequences I'm not concerned with. This is the first thing shaitan wants. What is right in front of you, he'll attack you by making you not think about the consequences of things. The other meaning of what is right in front of us is material things. In other words, he wants us to be obsessed with things that we can see. You're just thinking about this car constantly, constantly, constantly. You're thinking about your appearance, checking yourself out in the mirror. That's all you're always thinking about is how do I look? How do I look? How do I look? How much do I weigh? Or, you know, am I dressed better than this one or that one? You know, you're constantly just obsessed with material, appearance, goods, products, people obsessed with the kinds of brands that they're going to wear, what they're going to show off to somebody, obsessed with the idea, oh man, I'm living in an apartment, I'd have to get a house. It's so embarrassing, I live in an apartment, I have to, by whatever means, I got to get into a house because that's what's in front of me. You drive by a nice neighborhood where you see the houses and the car just automatically slows down and you just kind of, you know, your mind goes in your head, you're already living in there, you know. And He wants you to be obsessed with that. Now, wanting those things in and of itself isn't bad. And that, before I continue, is an important part of this khutbah. Please pay attention to this. In Surah An-Nas, Allah told us about the devil, الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ, that he whispers, it's translated, he whispers into the chests of people. He whispers into the chests of people. The thing about the word chest in the Arabic language is that it's actually used also for emotions. Like Allah says, وَيَشْفِي صُدُورَ قَوْمٍ مُؤْمِنِينَ, to heal the chest of a believing people. What that means is, when Allah uses the word chest, He's actually also referring to our emotions. Our feeling. Anger is part of the chest. Fear is part of the chest. Love is part of the chest. Greed is part of the chest. All of those feelings that you and I experience every day. When we're attracted to something beautiful, that's in our chest. When we're turned away from something ugly, that's in our chest. Laziness is in our chest. Enthusiasm is in our chest. When Allah says He whispers into the chest, what it also means is He takes all of those emotions that Allah gave me and Allah gave you, and they're normal emotions. Anger, fear, happiness, all of these emotions are part of who we are. It's natural. But He uses them and manipulates them. He'll use your anger to mess you up. He'll use your happiness to mess you up. He'll use your laziness to mess you up. He'll use your sadness to mess you up. In a certain degree, you need those feelings. But He knows what He can do to manipulate you and to get you to start feeling things that you're not supposed to be feeling, and to overrun you. And so, of course, everybody's attracted to something beautiful. Who wouldn't want to live in a beautiful house? As a matter of fact, the fact that Allah offers us in in heaven, He offers us mansions, and He offers us beautiful gardens and waterfalls. Why would we be attracted to that stuff if we're not interested in it now? It's the fact that Allah made us attracted to those things now is what makes heaven so appealing, right? So those things that are beautiful, us attracted to them is natural. What does shaitan want to do? He wants to take that feeling out of balance. I will do anything I can to get it. I don't care about the consequences. It's in front of me. I want it right now.